Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Sheeran is ready to play some games. Hello everyone, and welcome to Giganado Gaming. I hope you enjoy the video. What is up, my fellow dinosaurians? Giganado Gaming here, and welcome back to another episode of the Rebirth Spinwheel Sanctuary. Last we left off, we added in some more herbivores, the armored herbivores like Ankylosaurus and Triceratops. And yeah, today we're gonna see if we can get some carnivores in here, if the spin wheel will allow it, or if they just give us more herbivores. Let's focus on the east and west side, but before we get into that, if you find yourself enjoying this video and want more content like this, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more. It would really help out a ton. Let's see if we can get this channel to 2,000 subscribers. That would be super amazing. But with that, let's begin the video. Alright, now Wheel, you've landed on a bunch of herbivores. Don't you think it's about time to release some carnivores? I think so. Let's get started. And the first dinosaur to go into the east end is another herbivore. Apatosaurus. That is definitely not a carnivore. We've been releasing nothing but herbivores. This is becoming herbivore sanctuary. Damn. And the experimental trait that the Apatosaurs are going to have is hardy. Alright, they're going to be hardy. Let's go. We got that going. Let's move over to the west end and see if we can release a dino there. And the first creature to go into the west end is... well, we're getting a carnivore either way. Indoraptor. Finally, something that can do some damage. And we have an injury. Got a major fracture and... alright, both of them have a major fracture, really. Wait, what does the Nodosaur have? Well, we won't worry about that just yet. Let's get the Indoraptor going. We'll just get the one. He's probably going to terrorize. You know what? It's not even going to matter at this point. Because this Indoraptor is just going to basically wreak havoc. I might even just turn injuries off at this point. And the experimental trait that the Indoraptor is going to have is poisonous. Wouldn't venomous make more sense? Give him like a venomous bite? Well, poisonous it is. Alright, this is going to be a poisonous Indoraptor. Alright, surface wounds and major fracture. What do we got here? Triceratops. Awesome. Good, we got some Triceratops, and we got about 2 Dinokairos eggs incoming.
We are pleased to welcome a Triceratops to the park.
They're going to be ready in a couple seconds. Let's go ahead and get our Indoraptor ready. And boom. There we go. I just turned injuries off because that might get very annoying. Alright, we got the 2 Dinokairoses incoming. Awesome. So the Indoraptor's being hatched up. While we wait, let's move on to the second creature in the east. Alright, and the second creature to go into the east end is Spinosaurus. Alright. I would have preferred Spinoraptor, but whatever. Let's get Spinosaurus going. We got another herbivore. Alright, Spinosaurus. I say alright quite a lot. I'll try not to. Alright, Spinosaurus. I just said it again, damn. And the trait that these guys are gonna have is... I don't think that's gonna matter because they can't breed. Prolific. Do we give them prolific anyway? Doesn't even have a prolific trait anyway. Alright, let's spin again. Venomous. Alright, interesting. So we're gonna have some venomous Spinosaurus. Let's go. Venomous. Confirm. Hatch those 3 up. So far we've got Apatosaurus and Spinosaurus on the east end and Indoraptor in the west. So what do we got? Great Sandy Desert, Chalkrana, Rebel, and the Lux version. Awesome. Let's hatch those 3 up. And in the meantime, let's switch over to the west end and move on to the next one. And the second creature to go into the west end is Spinosaurus. Really, you pass Scorpius Rex. What's with all the herbivores? Alright, Spinosaurus. Let's go. It makes sense. We just had Spinosaurus not that long ago. Does that mean we're going to get Spinosaurus at some point? And the experimental trait these guys are going to have is It looks like it's hardy. So let's give them the hardy trait. Spinosaurus with the hardy trait. What do we got here? Lokiceratops. Awesome. Let's get a male. Let's see which one's... Oh, I like that one. Let the bottom one be a male. Spinosaurus is being released. Let's head back over to the east end and move on to the final creature. And the final creature to go into the east end is Metracanthosaurus. Alright, cool. We do have a carnivore coming in. Metracanthosaurus. Let's throw you in. And the experimental trait these guys are going to have is poisonous. Alright, cool. Let's get poisonous going. So the Metracanthosaurus are being hatched up. Let's get the final creature in the west. And the final creature to go into the west end is... Looks like it's a pterosaur. Thanatos Draken. Let's go. Thanatos Draken. Let's release them. And the experimental trait these guys are going to have is... Venomous. Cool. Let's get that going. Venomous. We're going to have some venomous Thanatos Draken. Let's craft them up. We got 2 of them. So we'll get a male and a female. Now let's work on the east end. Let's start with the Spinosaurus, since they'll release a lot quicker. Let's start with Spinosaurus. Still no rebirth species. And a bunch of herbivores, which means the carnivores have a lot of work to do. Let's release the apatosaurs in the meantime. A new sauropod has entered. And then let's work on the west side. There's a lot of empty spaces. Should we get a wheel for the empty spaces? You know, we'll do that. Alright, first, let's release the Spinosaurus. We got an Archaeornithomimus that wandered all the way over here. Let's give you some ground fruit. There you go. At least make you happy, anyway. Let's release the Thanatos Draken. Let's give them some shallow water. So they can at least have a fish feeder. There we go. Thanatos Draken's being released. Let's check on our other herbivores. Yeah, it is getting a bit crowded in here. I will admit. In the meantime, let's release the Metracanthosaurs. Finally, some carnivore action. Even though they're relatively small. And last but not least, the Indoraptor. We've got an Indoraptor that's poisonous. Or how about Dark Frog? Ooh, you just flung that giant Spinosaurus into the air. He's still alive, though, luckily. Here's what I kind of want to do. We got the Thanatos Drakens. Here's what I kind of want to do. I kind of want to do something over here. I've got some water over here. We have a lone Archaeornithomimus that wandered over here, which is awesome, I guess. Let's go ahead. Get an aviary here, along with a hatchery, just in case we get any pterosaurs. There should be a way to turn off paths. Because paths kind of take up a lot of space, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we got a Spinosaurus that just claimed a nest, which is awesome. And maybe get another aviary just for the nest. Just so they can have a nest, anyway. Let's release some creatures over here. Start an ecosystem over here. And the first creature to go into this section is... Oh, we're getting a carnivore. Spinosaurus. And I think it would only make sense to put in the Rebirth Spino. It'll only make sense, right? It would only make sense. And the experimental trait that the Spinosaurs are gonna have is, again, with the biological immortality. Damn. These Spinos are gonna be absolute gods. What do we got here? An Ankylosaurus that died in a fight with Stegoceratops. Damn. And then while the Spinos cook up, let's get the second creature going. And the second creature to go into this section is... Ah, so close. Dilophosaurus. We can get the Rebirth Dilophosaurs for the females, and then for the males, we could probably get something random. Let's get the Rebirth Dilophosaurs, and then random for the males. Now, Dilophosaurs, they can pack hunt. Will they be an issue for the Spinos? That's the question. And the experimental trait that the Dilophosaurs are going to have is... Okay, I'm about to take out biological immortality. You know what? I'm doing a respin. I'm respinning. I'm doing another spin. I don't care. Hardy. Alright, these guys are hardy. We got some hardy Dilophosaurs incoming. We got our Dilophosaurs being cooked up. And let's move on to the third and final species. And the third and final species going into this section is... Amargasaurus. So we've got a herbivore in here. They probably won't stand much of a chance here. This place is probably going to be owned by the Spinosaurs and the Dilophosaurs. Let's get Amargasaurus going, and we'll probably just get the two. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the biological immortality trait because there are too many dinosaurs with that. Alright, prolific. I guess these guys are going to be prolific. Awesome. Yeah, I got rid of the biological immortality because too many creatures were getting that. It was landing on it too many times, so I just got rid of it. We'll create a plan, like, right off the bat. Before we release the Dilophosaurs and the Spinos. So they can at least carry on the next generation. Okay, I totally meant to release them. Totally meant to do that. Well, let's get the Amargasaurs out anyway. I just figured fill up this area. We got Metracanthosaurus and Dinokairos duking it out.
We are pleased to welcome an Amargasaurus to the park.
71% against... Oh, they got poisoned. Wait, what are these... What traits do these guys have? Biological immortality. Oh, yeah, that's right. Alright, they are going to call it off. Shall we release the Dilophosaurs? We'll release the Dilophosaurs next. Let's just release them. Get it over with. We got some Rebirth Dilophosaurs for the females anyway. There we go. And now let's release the Spinosaurs. The Rebirth Spinos. There we go. This is perfect, actually.
We are pleased to welcome a Spinosaurus to the park.
So that's one, and then this is the female, two. And this is one of the movie skins. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Archaeornithomimus to the park.
And look at that. The male Spinosaur is going straight into the water. Hopefully these guys will be able to live in peace. And we've got a bunch of Dilophosaurs in the area, so I don't know. Let's get these guys a medium nest. That's the only thing they're missing. Swimming in the water. The Spinos will probably just keep swimming in the water. I think it's the Dilophosaurs that'll be the real issues here. Alright, I'm going to take a screenshot for the thumbnail. And with that, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. It would really help out a ton. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.